Hello everyone, Brian Jennings, the Millennial Dragon. This channel is dedicated to processing my diseased pathological relationship with Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is a powerful psychic clairvoyant, right? Who makes it his business to crawl into the minds of the actors in his films and sees the movies as the ultimate expression of intention and will. Right? He is interested in psychic occultism, right? And is a base, degenerate, evil man. Right? I am the reason that he canceled his film, The Movie Critic, last year. And when I didn't bend to his psychic whim, he took it upon himself to use his mind to try to destroy my body, to try to put me 6 feet in the ground as a corpse. Originally, it was a subtle, seductive, bullshit, amateur fucking game, and now we're really playing it. And I can descend into evil as well, and if I do, the body count's gonna rise, right? But rather than do that, I've written the Pope. Right? We're talking about it. Right? Because I betray no master. So I've written a novel, a novelization of my experiences. It's called Building a Coven, as in a witch's coven. And we're reading through the novel. We're talking about the novel. We're talking about the writing. We're talking about the nature of reality. Right? Quentin Tarantino is a base degenerate who brings people to pay attention to his foot fetish because he doesn't want you actually thinking about the truth, that he's interested in fucking bullshit subtle mind games. Right? So, I'll pick up where I left off. My van has been giving me difficulty. I considered not driving, but I was convinced to go by my family. I drove 8 straight hours, never turning my van off, and arrived here at Sleepy Bear Campground a couple minutes ago. Excuse me. It is my first time both at this venue as well as the campground. It is now Sunday. The weekend has been memorable, though not how I expected it to be. Clam is always memorable, and the experiences contained therein always bring me to a better frame of mind, but this weekend has been singular. I tried to sell lemonade and lemon bars I made, but after an hour my shade flew away, and I just threw everything haphazardly back into the van, destroying it hoarder style, and proceeded to walk around like I always do. Given the problems with my van I have been having, I left at the Encore to beat the traffic, and realized after driving almost 30 minutes through various police barricades, I turned around, and upon getting back to the campground was informed they wouldn't let me in, that I would have to come back. So I parked in an office building and walked back, carousing until the evil hour when I tried to get back in. I got the van running, but when I put it in gear it would not accelerate at all. I threw it in neutral and double parked as out of the way as I could manage. Walking back with a sigh, I closed my eyes under a tree near where I was parked. I did not want to sleep in the van and risk another DUI. No way. I can suffer. At the show, I heard Alistair. He said, "You would walk away from all this?" I meant well! And I was racked with a great guilt. Even more so than always. Sitting with these cool guys at the fire, I bought a balloon and heard her say, "This guy parties, he's huffing gas." Closing my eyes under the tree, I tried my best to settle my drug-addled mind, but I was restless. Staring into the depths, a radiant vision of beauty visited me. She stayed only a moment before spinning in departure. Once gone, I opened my eyes anew. She is the psychic I have been thinking on. She has possessed my mind ever since. My heart? Eventually, I slept poorly for 3 hours. Yesterday was equally exciting. The day began with a lively conversation with a simple idiot, and others, though he is the only one I don't remember, which in the course of time degenerated into an argument, loud-voiced, though I was the one who started it. I felt it needed to be said. The truth. The guy, short stature, long brown hair, glasses, forgettable, if you can forget an ass, first espoused a token of pride that he had watched every season of NCIS, to which I required if he hated himself afterwards, and we all had a good chuckle. He kept going on and on about being sober, but he was quick to discuss Adderall. And when I asked him if he had one, he got very thin-lipped and spewed addict claptrap thereafter. Continuing to go on and on about his sobriety, I felt compelled and cleared the air, letting him know that in fact he was not sober, but addicted to amphetamines. He kept rationalizing and raising his voice. I asked him to just try. He stood up and began pacing his sickly, wiry frame, saying, "Headier than thou," etc. I raised my voice once. He left eventually. I don't bestow from on high pretension. I have my demons. I lay no claim to sobriety. To quote Socrates, he thinks he knows something which he does not know, namely, the lie that he is sober. I only told him that as we age, we can have different, more mature relationships with substances. That perhaps 10 years in is enough. He should try to have a drink. That NA, AA, etc. becomes its own yoke, which stifles and defines any person as much or even more than their abuse. And true, sobriety always trumps drug abuse. But the catechisms, tenets of these psychological temples will in due time mutate into their own addictions. This unfortunate fool is a perfect example, having convinced himself he is sober because his speed comes from the pharmacy, and he no longer drinks, but he is lost. I did not want to upset him, but he's an ass, and being hungover, I had little patience for such narrow justifications. The day progressed. I went to the parking lot around 3 p.m. She emerged soon after. I was taken this time by how it seemed nowhere close to capacity. I would say the crowd here suggests a tapering. These are the first shows I've seen since Halloween 21. 3 full years, no shows. A pity. But the energy was wider than I remember. Plenty of leg room. I bought an eagle pin and stole away to pin it on my shirt. I heard her. I don't know, he's some sort of vagabond. And she was there digging for hours. Said many complimentary things. Made shrewd observations regarding my psyche. Walking into the venue, a girl looked wide-eyed at me and said, "Anybody ever tell you look like Christian Bale?" To which I replied, "I'll take it, thanks." A nice compliment from a beautiful woman. In fact, she is not the first woman to tell me that. I was also told that by a girl in New York who printed out my headshot in Midtown before auditioning for The Two Gentlemen of Verona. While waiting for the band, I finally spoke to both of them. She was lamenting, audibly sighing before admitting, "It's a lot." She was encouraged to continue when I interjected. I said, "What do you want from me? You want me to come there and scream at the top of my lungs?" Alistair replied, Yeah. He's thinking on my scene. It's gold. I resigned myself to go straight there. These tactics abhor me, though I marvel, and find myself caught up sincere. I did not sleep. Stayed up all night doing drugs with a real nice dog. Not into fish. Party crashed in the venue. She had snuck into the campground, which I did not realize until she took me to the store when she left, having 2 kids, a couple hours away. Now I have a huge swollen toothache. I smoked too many cigarettes while high on drugs. I look ridiculous. I ate some LSD, and it appears to be working in reducing the pain, but I have Elephant Man vibes. The show starts earlier today. 5:30 the ticket reads, though they'll start later, maybe 6:15. I'm flying to LA on Monday or Tuesday. I have decided not to go to DC. The Folger will still be there. The journalist is now. My rage spirals at the audacity. How vulgar it feels to persist in this way when we could talk like brothers and friends. I am operating on the assumption that Alistair knows this woman. A psychic bitch who hawks her power for $1, but I know nothing. He is bewildered by me, because he knows I was prepared. But I cannot see what he hopes to gain by these occult methods that won't be gleaned easier through sincerity. He wants me to go there and yell. He wanted me to do something else in June, and I was afraid. Now I have to be as vigorous as I can. Though it seems to me he's bought me. But I have to do everything I can to show my remorse, that I am prepared to do whatever it takes, that I'm listening. And so I'll stop there. Right? So, right, we've crossed Tribeca, we've passed Tribeca, right? This is a novelization of my experiences with Quentin Tarantino and the movie Critic, right? I didn't bend to his psychic whim at Tribeca, and he, right, as a result of being hurt, entered into a Faustian covenant to compel me to madness, to compel me to blow my brains out, so that he can have my material for free, right? How do I know that? Right? How do I know what I'm talking about? Right? Science demands that you accept one miracle, the Big Bang, and then everything else is reasonable, right? And so I'm asking the people who watch these videos to, right, say this, to accept the same thing, right? That there's one miracle you have to accept, that Quentin Tarantino is a powerful psychic clairvoyant. If you accept that, then everything else is easy. Everything else just falls into place, right? And so the reason that I know, right, that he wants me to kill myself, right, no matter what he tells people at his fucking dinner parties, right, is because he doesn't want to see me. He doesn't want to spend any time with me, right? He lets people into his life by these sick, disgusting occult mind games, right? And when I didn't give him what he wanted, right, he said, oh no, he failed the test. He's not spending any real time with me, right? Therefore, right, he doesn't expect me to live for another 30, 20 years because the two of us have a pathological, diseased psychological relationship. He does not have a healthy psychology right now. That's the point, right? That the two of us exist as psychic phantoms in the other's mind, right? And so he wants me to die so that he can have a healthy mind. That's my point. That's my point. There's no, like, this is simple. It's a simple logic, right? This is not a convoluted process, right? That he opened up himself to me if I bent to his psychic whim with his occult mind games, right? And now that I haven't done that, right, he expects me to blow my brains out, and this is why I live in perpetual fear that someone's going to run into my house and murder me and my entire family, because there is no formula where the two of us exist in this way, and it's healthy psychologically for anyone involved. Now we're all caught up, right? No psychic clairvoyant would put themselves in this condition and expect it to persist for 20 fucking years. That is a dangerous pathological psychology, right? Therefore, right, he always expected me to put a gun in my mouth. And now that he knows that I won't, he's descended into palpable black magic evil, right, to destroy my body, right, which he stole from me, right? And I've emailed Peter J. Carroll. It's easy to be evil. This is not, right, like, anyone who cast their allegiances with Quentin Tarantino is an evil fucking degenerate. That's it. There's no other formula there, right? So we're talking about it. Right? We're talking about the nature of reality. I'm not going to go on and on, right? But Building a Coven, that's the novel. Uplift your soul to God. See what's good in your life. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Right? Quentin Tarantino is a dangerous degenerate who doesn't see anything that's good in his life. He doesn't see that fine fucking wife he's got. Doesn't see his beautiful family. Doesn't see the hundreds of millions of dollars he has. Right? All he sees is vulgar fucking evil. And so this channel exists to remind the world, right, what this man is, which is a sick, pathological degenerate. Uplift your soul to God. God bless.